Hi guys, and welcome to the Ace Tanker for the STA-2, the Tier 8 Japanese Premium Medium Tank. We're going to talk about the tank in a moment, but this is a bonus video, second video I'm releasing today because I feel guilty about not releasing a video yesterday due to the fact I was suffering from exhaustion. But all this week you guys are getting to choose what videos are on the channel, and once again I went back into some of the previous comments and I noticed this one from Dreadshells, who was actually featured on the channel quite a lot. He's been a fantastic supporter of the channel. He sent me a lot of fantastic replays. He sent me more replays than I've been able to upload. But some amazing games, very good scout player, a lot of scout replays up on the channel. Yeah, I noticed this channel from Dreadshells, or this question from Dreadshells. It would be cool for you to show a replay of a tank you've never featured on the channel before. So yeah, that's what this video today is all about. But I sat down to start making this video, and then it occurred to me I put up the T28 heavy tank concept Ace Tanker a couple of days ago, and that was a tank I hadn't featured on the channel before. So I guess I'm giving you two videos for the price of one comment, Dreadshells, but you deserve it. Thanks for the support. So this is a Tier 8 premium tank, and even though I'm reviewing all the premium tanks in the game, what I'm planning to do, or what I have been doing, is I'm reviewing all the premium tanks from Tier 2 all the way up to Tier 8, and Wargaming keep releasing premium tanks that are below Tier 8, so I don't really get the opportunity to do Tier 8s because there's just so many more low tier premiums I want to review. I'm kind of OCD, I have to get all the lower ones done before I start doing the upper ones, but I know that if I start doing Tier 8s, you see, this is just how I like doing things my own way, because I know that the is it worth it you guys are probably most waiting for are the Tier 8 ones, but I'm just stubborn, and I have to, if I were to start doing Tier 8 ones, I would go crazy because there are tanks that are lower tier I haven't reviewed yet. But so I'm doing these quick videos every time I get the first Ace Tanker and a Tier 8 Premium, then I'm going to give you the lowdown on the tank, and hopefully that's going to keep you going until I actually get around to doing the review. The STA-2, it's actually not a it's not an expensive Tier 8 premium tank, it's a medium tank, so you'll get it for around the same price as the Super Pershing, or the AMX CDC, or the Panther 88. Only the T-34-3 is kind of the exception in that it's much more expensive for some unknown reason. But yeah, so it's quite a cheap Tier 8 premium tank, but does it make it good? Now, this tank gets a heck of a lot of hate. It really does. A lot of people were disappointed with this tank when it was released. A lot of people don't like this tank. And I can see their point of view. I really can see their point of view. But let's talk about this tank first of all. Heading into Tanks GG, one of my favorite sites at the moment regarding World of Tanks, we're going to take a look at the STA-2. We're just going to look at its basic stats first, and this will have to hold you over, as I say, until I get around to doing the review. The DPM is actually 2.1. Now, if you check the Watt Wiki, it's going to say the DPM is around 2000, and that's because this tank actually got a slight rate of fire buff, I believe, in patch 9.9. So the tank has been buffed. It's actually a lot better than it used to be. The rate of fire was buffed, which gives it slightly more DPM, so it's actually got 2.1 K DPM, which is not bad. That can be boosted with equipment and crew skills. The rate of fire is pretty good. 8.81 rounds a minute. That's actually got a very, very nice rate of fire. You can keep that gun firing. If you've got tanks you can pen, then this gun can build up damage pretty quickly. The penetration gets a little bit of criticism because the tank doesn't get special matchmaking. It will see Tier 9s and 10s, and as a result 185mm of penetration isn't that good against higher tier tanks, but when it's top tier, it's not bad. And, you know, it's got more penetration than a tank like the Super Pershing has, so yeah, penetration's not too bad. It is on the low side, but it's not too bad. You can make it work. And the reason you can make it work is the accuracy isn't too bad. Again, accuracy got a slight buff. Again, stats will tell you that the accuracy is 3.7, but it's actually about 3.5. So the accuracy is pretty good on the tank, which means that even though you've got 185mm of penetration, you can pen enemy tanks if you can hit their weak spots. Damage is okay at 240, pretty standard for a Tier 8 medium tank. Reload is pretty good, as I say, 6.8 rounds a minute, and the shell velocity is a little bit of a little bit of a downside. It's a shell velocity time for between you and any shoot, the shell hitting the target is a little bit slow. 853. Most other tanks are going to be quicker, but it's not bad. It's not terrible. You can work around it. One of the big strengths, and probably the biggest strength of this tank, is its gun depression. It gets 10 degrees of gun depression. So this is a hill warrior. You use it on slopes. You go hull down, and it's a very good hill warrior. Very good gun depression, but only over most of the tank. If you're shooting over the rear of the tank, directly over your engine deck, then just be aware it only has 3 degrees of gun depression over the back of the tank. So yeah, 10 degrees, very good, but as I say, just be aware, sometimes if you swing around, there's a tank behind you, your gun will shoot up into the air because you've only got 3 degrees. The dispersion, the accuracy when shooting this gun was buffed as well. I believe the turret traverse was buffed. This used to be a lot worse, so in 9.9, the turret traverse dispersion or accuracy when moving your turret and shooting, that got a buff as well, which makes the tank a little bit more playable. But the biggest buff this tank received was a huge buff to its terrain resistance. The hard, medium, and soft terrain was all buffed in 9.9, making the tank much more maneuverable, much faster than it was, or faster to accelerate than it was prior to patch 9.9. So just remember, when people are talking about the STA-2, just make sure they're not talking about the tank prior to 9.9. It's actually a better tank since 9.9 was released. The forward speed is okay at 45 kilometers an hour. It's not amazing. It's Japanese, and most Japanese mediums aren't particularly quick, at least from tier 8 down. The reverse speed, however, is very good, so this is a very good tank for being able to hide behind, for example, a rock, poke out, take a shot, and reverse into cover very quickly. That gun dispersion and that reverse speed help you play the tank and play peekaboo in the tank very well. As I say, the top speed, not fantastic, but yeah, it's okay. It is okay. This was a tank that was based on the Pershing. It's the first tank. It was a prototype. It was the first Japanese tank built after World War II, and it was built on American design. So it plays a lot like the Pershing. It's got the gun depression, it's got the speed, it's got the gun, it's got the accuracy, a lot like the Pershing. So if you like playing the Pershing, then I think you'll do just fine in the STA-2, but yeah, the STA-2 does have one big negative compared to the Pershing. We're going to come to that when we talk about armor. Just before that, yeah, armor, you can see here, armor is absolutely horrible everywhere. Absolutely horrible on this tank. It's almost like CDC standards. It's got absolutely no armor. And anything else important here? The view range is okay. The view range is okay. You do need coated optics on this tank, I think, if you're going to be playing it like a proper medium. 380 meters of view range is okay. Oh, and the shell cost. The shell cost for the standard AP is okay. It could be a little bit cheaper for a premium tank, but it's actually, no, it's pretty cheap. It is pretty cheap. But the premium ammo is quite expensive on the tank. So you just got to be aware, if you're firing a lot of premium ammo, which is very good, by the way, then you're going to probably not be making as much money in an STA-2 as you will in a lot of other tier 8 premium tanks. Taking a look at the armor, we're not going to need to spend too much time on this because it's got absolutely no armor. It's only got 80 millimeters of effective armor in the lower glacis, and that's actually better than the upper glacis. It's only 60 millimeters with the sloping included. It's got no hull armor. You can't even side scrape in this tank. If you try to side scrape, look at this, even at an extreme angle, it's still 56 millimeters of armor. So side scraping in this tank, complete waste of time. Pretty much every tank, even lower tier tanks that shoot you, are going to be able to penetrate you. About the only benefit to side scraping in this tank is the tracks once again are a spaced armor. So if you look here, you can see that the tracker, if we shoot the track at this angle, the result is it's absorbed. So it is possible. It is possible to absorb shots with your tracks. Again, against higher tier tanks that might not work, but against lower tier tanks you can absorb, but only if they shoot in your tracks. If they try and shoot you in the turret, if they try and shoot you in the hull, they're just going to pen. But it doesn't mean you can't give side scraping a chance when you have the opportunity to. As I say, straight on the side of the tank, absolutely awful. 31 millimeters effective armor. Side of the turret is 40 millimeters effective armor. The strongest part of the side of the turret is only 60 millimeters, 40 on the back. It's got no side armor, absolutely no side armor. The rear of the tank, 0. I mean, 20 millimeters of effective armor on the rear, 26 here. Back of the turret's 35 millimeters. This thing, no armor, guys. The other side's the same. Roof of the tank, I didn't think it was possible, but the roof of the tank is even worse than a lot of the other tanks in game. It's only got about 12 millimeters of effective armor on the engine deck, top of the tank. Top of the turret's only about 18. So yes, Arty, going to go for these guys. Go for STA-2s. If you hit an STA-2 anywhere else other than the tracks, you're going to pretty much do full damage. It's going to pen and do full damage with HE. The turret itself is not very good. It really isn't very good, even though you can see spaced armor on this tank and also red areas or red bands. The red areas, I mean, they're only about 100 millimeters of effective armor. So, I mean, pretty much any tank that's going to be shooting this turret is going to go through, and that's the thickest armor of the turret. When we move up, it's only got 62 millimeters here. Just over the gun mantle at 52 millimeters. The cupola, which is quite easy to hit, is only 42 millimeters. This tank has absolutely no armor. Now, the gun mantle can bounce shots, but even then it's not effective because you're going to be facing higher tier tanks. So it is possible sometimes to bounce shots with your spaced armor, but most of the time you're going to get penned even through the turret. It's not a very good turret. So essentially this tank has absolutely no armor. And that's probably one of the main reasons the tank gets a bad reputation. It's not very inexperienced player friendly. If you make a mistake in this tank, you're going to take damage, you're going to take hits. It's not, you really can't play the STA-2 if you're inexperienced, because you have to be aware of the minimap, you have to be aware of what's happening around you, you have to be aware of what tanks this gun is going to be able to penetrate without any problems. And as I say, one mistake in this tank, you're going to be taking damage or you're going to be killed. This was a game that was played on stream, guys. So if you've seen this game before, I do apologize. And I do know I haven't streamed in about a week and a half, maybe even longer. Last stream was going quite well, and then I just got a blood sugar problem towards the end of it and had to end the stream very abruptly. I do apologize. I don't think I've had a chance to apologize for that. But I am planning to stream again once this week is over, and once I've got all the videos done and the prizes given out. I'm planning to get back to playing World of Tanks, planning to get back to streaming. But in the meantime, this is the STA-2 Ace Tanker. First time the tank is featured on the channel. And as I say, we've got 10 degrees of gun depression over the front of the tank, so I'm moving up here. I'm going to be playing a little bit on the front line. The camo rating on the tank is quite good, so I'm going to be playing it on the front line, going to be trying to use its gun depression. And remember, I'm going to be keeping an eye on that minimap. You can see I've got very, very good view range at the moment with coated optics on the tank. So we're just waiting. It's about patience. You don't want to be on the front line. I'm letting a KV-85 and a KV-13 go first. Don't want to be on the front line. Matchmaking is actually very good. Forgot to mention that. I'm playing solo. It's a tier 8 game. Lots of tier 8s on either side, because it effectively means I'm top tier. Lots of tier 6s, lots of tier 7s on the enemy team. Quite a few tier 8s. So first victim is spotted, and it's a Tog. So take one shot in, going for tracks. I'm trying to find track shots here. Trying to time the track shots. And I'm not sure if that was my track, but I get spotted, and you can see how fast this thing reverses. Just fall back when I see the Tog aiming for me. The other nice thing about this game, I should mention, is the fact there's no arty, so which means I can sit here and just take shots. Now, you can see I'm constantly looking around me, constantly looking to see where I can do my next damage, and we can see all our tanks. Look at all these tanks advancing to my left. So I decide, okay, there are at least 2 enemy tanks to my right. SU-100's going to die. Oh, can I get another shot? Aim, and someone else kills him just before I fire. But while enemy tanks, or while friendly tanks I should say, advance down the 4 lines, I'm moving up here, and look at this gun depression, playing the tank to its strengths, using some bush mechanics to help my camo, and I've got all this gun depression. So we get a shot in, don't get spotted, I'm firing through bushes, they're solid. and that guy moves into the open. Unfortunately, bushes weren't solid when he moved across, and that cost me spots, or I got spotted. But I could just continue working here. These tanks are all turning around to shoot the tanks behind them, and IS-6, such a difficult tank to pen for this gun from this angle. So I'm aiming for the IS-6, going to go for his driver's hatch, and then all of a sudden T-43 appears. So T-43, much easier target for me to pen. So I could be getting more damage and more XP and more credits by shooting the tier 8, but there's no guarantee my shots are going to pen, so I'm focusing on the tank I can actually pen and damage. So going for the kill, and someone else takes him out, so fire at the IS-6, managed to get one in. I think that was the rear of his tank, so I'm shooting at exactly the same spot, and this time we bounce. So gun, a little bit it's not dependable. 185 millimeters of penetration, so IS-6 on next to no health, surrounded by friendlies. SU-122 on low health, surrounded by friendlies. I figure, yeah, our team are going to take those out. I'm going to use this opportunity to do some flanking, play this thing like a medium tank, relocate to where I can get some damage. And my plan is, most of the enemy team seem to be down in J5, so my plan is to kill the TOG, maybe kill the T-28 prototype, and then flank the enemy tanks down at J5. That's where I've got most opportunity to do damage. That's where I've got most opportunity to get more XP. So don't make the mistake and lose health coming down that rise. I learned my lesson from the Rudy replay and the Rudy review. But I'm just moving up. I got proxy spotted, VK on low health. We can just pop up, aim, and the gun. The gun is good enough. I mean, the aim time is okay. So T-28 prototype's going to hurt if he hits me. TOG I'm not that worried about. So I'm trying to side scrape, trying to get them to absorb, my tracks to absorb the shot. But you can see, even a TOG, tier 6 tank shooting a tier 8, no problems penning me. So, yeah, finish him off for my fourth kill of the game, and he gets another shot into me. So we're now free. T-34's gone back to defend, I can ignore him. And we can just advance. Now again, I want to use my gun depression. I don't want to be on flat ground against these tanks. I want to be on a slope, I want to be on a rise, I want to use bush mechanics if I can, move up, and no shots here. So again, using my gun depression, notice a T-29 has turned around, he has spotted me, and this is where the penetration is going to start letting me down, because IS-3 from this angle, very hard to pen. Snapshot, switch to premium ammo because the T-29 is hulled down, the IS-3 very difficult to pen from the front. Don't have easy shots on his turret roof, but premium ammo, incredibly good. Get one shot into the T-29. Now the premium ammo is heat with 275 millimeters of penetration. 275 millimeters of penetration, incredible for a premium tank, but it is expensive. And there we go. Yeah, absolutely no armor on this tank, but the heat was able to go through the top of the turret on the T-29. That takes me up to 6 kills. I'm still hungry for more, so I'm getting to the rear of enemy tanks. Don't need premium anymore. Switch back to regular AP. And the game is almost over. Only 2 tanks left on the enemy team. No, 1 tank left on the enemy team. There goes a potential Radleys. So what I want is just to get a little bit more damage out of this game. So again, playing like a medium tank, flanking. It's quite a light tank, so ramming is not a good idea. And someone else takes out the Super Pershing before I'm able to get any more damage done. But we actually hit a blind shot in there, so we've done over 3k damage. So, first ace in the STA-2, we also picked up a Top Gun, and it was game played live on stream, so I was quite happy that some of you guys got to see this played live. Usually I play a lot worse. When I'm playing on stream, I play a lot worse than I do when there's no pressure and I'm playing off stream. But anyway, we got finished up with 1236 XP. As I say, we got a blind shot in somewhere, don't know what blind shot that was, but we ended up doing 3,197 damage, so quite happy. And 6 kills, yeah, not a bad game at all. We got to play it like a medium tank. We used gun depression, kept an eye on the minimap, flanked to where we could have the most impact, didn't expose our tank very much until we had to. Everything that shot us penned. This tank has no armor, very unforgiving, but the gun is okay. I mean, the gun is okay. It got buffed in 9.9, so 21 shots fired, 19 hits. The accuracy is quite good on the gun. 17 penetrations. The penetration on the gun is good enough to pen weak spots. lacks against higher tier tanks. If you get it into tier 9, tier 10 tanks, or up against tier 9s, tier 10s, the penetration is a bit lacking, but it gets very, very good premium ammo. However, it's expensive, and if you're firing premium ammo on this tank, it's going to eat into your profit margins. But yeah, happy with the damage. Top tier tank, so would expect to have decent damage. 10 damage, 6 destroyed. Didn't spot any tanks, unfortunately, but we did do 573 assistance damage, and we earned 83,000 credits. Now, that's not bad, but just remember, as I say, this is going to be facing tier 9s, tier 10s. You're going to be firing more premium ammo, and as a result, it's not quite as good a moneymaker as I would class some of the other tier 8 premium tanks. So, because it's very unforgiving, it's very, very unforgiving. You've got absolutely no armor. It needs to be played as a support tank. It needs to be played to its strengths. It needs to be played by someone who always has their eye on the minimap. And it's not a fantastic moneymaker. I don't think it's a great premium tank or first premium tank for someone who's just going to buy their first tier 8 premium tank. And there are lots of very, very good tier 8 premium tanks. So again, I don't think the tank is bad. In fact, I quite like it. But I just don't see the point of buying an STA-2 when there's a tank like the CDC, which is a little bit more flexible and has no armor, but it does have speed on its side, and it has gun depression. So, I mean, the CDC has pretty much everything that the STA has, but it's faster, and it probably makes better credits because the penetration on the gun is better. So yeah, you've got to question whether or not it's a great purchase, but it's not a bad tank. It really isn't a bad tank. If you're serious about training up Japanese crews, then the STA-2 is actually okay. I don't mind the tank. I quite like playing it, but I think there are better tier 8 premium tanks out there. 1854 XP, first win of the day, left me on 4000 XP, but yeah, first ace tanker in the STA-2, quite happy with that. So now it's been stuck down to my reserves and will only be played on special occasions, but game played on stream. If you've seen it before, I do apologize. So it is day 6 of the 3K subscriber week, and as a thank you to all the subscribers out there, I'm letting you guys have a big influence on what appears on the channel this week. As I say, I usually do things my own way. I make videos when I'm in the mood to make them and when I want to make them, but I'm letting you guys choose the videos all this week. So I'm out of ideas for tomorrow. I'm out of ideas. So I've got plenty of ideas, but I've got nothing made. But as a result, once again, I'm going to ask you guys for the next 2 days, the 2 types of videos that get the highest votes, those are the 2 videos I'm going to do over the next 2 days. So for day 7, what I'd like you to do in the comments below, and as usual, if you leave a comment, you're going to be in with a chance of winning a game on Steam. But if you leave a comment, just let me know what type of video you want on the channel tomorrow as the part of the 3K subscriber week. And don't ask for specifics, you know, for if you want an is it worth it. Please don't want to is it worth it, but if you want an is it worth it, please don't say what tank you want one for, because I don't have time. I'm not going to be able to sit down tomorrow, play 20 or 30 games on a tank, get it all together and made. Well, technically I could, but it would kill me. It would literally kill me. But if you want an is it worth it, I do have some queued up. I need to sit down and record. If you want an is it worth it, then basically just say is it worth it. Don't ask for a specific tank. If you want a how I tank, let me know. I'll have to come up with an idea. I'll have to come up with something. But again, you know, try and stay away from specifics because I might not have anything ready for that. If you want ace tankers, let me know. If it's high tier, mid tier, or low tier you want. If it's going to be your replays, if you want to see some more of your replays that you guys have sent in to me, again, let me know in the comments. If you let me know what video you want on the channel tomorrow, the most popular one or the one that gets the most comments is going to be on the channel tomorrow, and then who knows, I might do a couple of bonus videos with random comments that other people have made that I think might make good videos at a later date. But that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.